Now, without further ado, another from our semifinals. Please welcome E-bot7 to the stage. A round of applause. Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Good. The stage is yours for 3 minutes.
Thank you. So maybe just to start, how many of you in the audience work for a corporate? Just a show of hands. Okay. Do you know how much it costs you every time your customers get in touch? The European average is between 7 to 10 euros. That, along with the fact that by next year, according to Gartner, 70% of all communication will be done via messaging, is why we set up E-bot7. E-bot7 is a software-as-a-service solution that uses artificial intelligence and natural language processing to help corporates engage and manage with their customers. How we do this is using our hybrid agent AI technology. Let me show you how that works. So we start by taking your historical data, FAQs, any historical information that you have. We use that to train our solution. Then what happens is any time a query comes in, using natural language processing, we're able to interpret it and determine the best course of action to take. But this is where the magic comes in. You as a business can determine your risk threshold. So you set a confidence threshold, in this case 97%. Anytime our solution is less than 97% sure of the answer, it will send that to a human. And what happens is that human with the corresponding skill set will answer it. And as soon as they do, our solution will learn from that. In essence, creating a dynamic knowledge base that grows with you and your business. In addition to that, we have set up an open API. So we can, in essence, link to any solution or CRM that you're currently using and offer our solution as a platform. But why work with E-bot7? It's really all about our technology. Unlike most players in the field, our technology is completely proprietary. We built it ourselves. Just last month, we were recognized by Forbes as one of the top 10 AI startups in Germany. But the key with new technology, in order for it to be adopted, is the ease of use. That's why we've built it so that within 2 hours, you can work completely independently and autonomously. You own the solution. So who's behind it all? These are our 3 founders. We set up the business in 2016. Since then, we've acquired customers such as Siemens, O2, Deutsche Bahn, and more. We're now 25 employees and growing. But AI is really more than that for us. We've built a whole ecosystem around it. The main thing I want to point out is the KI-Verband. So we are one of the founding members of the German AI Association. And why is that important? We don't want Europe to fall behind the rest of the world when it comes to artificial intelligence. Why am I here today? I'm here because I want to work with you. I want to work with you, the corporates in this audience. If you're interested, please come and see me at stand 15. My name is Jerome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jerome. And now we have time for the questions. Yes, we have the first question here and the second there.
What is the biggest pain point that you have now, since you've been doing this for a while?
That's a very good question. I think the biggest, I'm going to answer that in 2 ways. We have 2 pain points. An internal one, because I think this is something that most people actually overlook, is the culture of a startup. As this culture, or as a startup scales, and as you really get past a certain size, so we're looking to be 40 by the end of this year, maintaining the right culture whereby you continue to innovate, whereby you don't get bogged down in bureaucracy is a really difficult thing. That's the first part. The second part is scaling our team and getting the right people so that we can continue to grow and meet then, let's say, the growth in the commercial team. So the challenge really there is that also with a startup, there's really no room for error when hiring. If you hire the wrong person, that costs you very significantly. If you're an organization of 500 plus, you can have, I mean, it's not great, but you can have some layabouts, really, because at the end of the day, they're not going to bring down the solution. But when you're 25, every single person counts. And so for us, it's really getting the right people right now. That's, I would say, the main challenge. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
You have a lot of good brands that you work with. How many of them are actual clients, and how many of them are just POCs?
So that's a very good question as well. I imagine most startups classically will throw up a lot of brands to make them look more developed. 40% of those are actually, they started as POCs, but now are actual clients. So the challenge that we have here is that they're mostly German names. We want to expand outside of the German market and prove to our investors that, you know, our model really works outside of the DACH region.
Okay. And the last question.
What languages you are supporting?
Sorry?
What languages you are supporting?
So that's actually a great question as well. At the moment, we have English, Dutch, French, German, but we can add languages in a week, and that's kind of the advantage of our proprietary technology. So yeah, we just added Swedish as well.
So how you are adding them? You are using dictionary or something else?
Can I still answer that?
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah, no, because it's an important question. It does make a clear distinction. So with our own data scientists, they have actually a few little tricks, which I'm not going to like discuss openly. But there are two things. So obviously, we scrape the internet. We take data sets that's publicly available, that we buy data sets in these languages. But we also leverage the fact that we have a lot of historical data from our clients, so their proprietary data that then we've been able to use to train our models originally. And so we started with German, and that was trained on a lot of data from O2, which was our first client. Using that, we've been able to kind of leverage that and use that then into other languages as well.
Thank you very much.
I'm being bullied off stage.
Off the stage.
Okay.
You go.
Thanks, guys.
I have to be fair to everyone. So now, Feelif, 3 minutes is yours on the stage, and then 2 minutes of the questions. So, welcome. Thank you.
So hi everybody, my name is Tjaša and I come from Feelif, and I have a question for you. Have you ever asked yourself, how does a blind person access digital content? The truth is, blind and visually impaired have limited access to digital content. They mostly perceive it through reading or reading or listening to text-to-speech feature. So visual information like pictures, shapes are inaccessible for them. So this limits their access to quality education and finding jobs, as 80% of blind people are unemployed. For the best learning experience, they need specialized content, and this content is very hard to find. Our competitors mostly focus on expensive hardware, and they're neglecting the content. So at Feelif, we developed Feelif devices, which are basically a tactile grid on a standard Android device with a software with a haptic, sound, and speech feedback, which gives a blind user a chance to feel the pictures, feel the shapes. Children like Mia can now become digitally sighted. They can access maps, she can learn Braille, she can learn geometry, all on a touch screen. Our team so far has received many awards and recognitions. Most recently, we became the global champion of 2019 for the best digital content solution in the world. We as well have intellectual property for Feelif technology, and we've been selling Feelif devices worldwide. However, we don't want to stop here. We would like to develop first ever digital market for specialized content called Feelif Open Platform. We would like to make super easy for everyone to create specialized content using Feelif technology. Since educational content is the most needed, we will first digitalize school curriculum for primary and secondary school. And with this, we will be the first ones to claim digital market for specialized content. This is all due to our amazing team and the real rock star of our team, the guide dog Dante, and of course our amazing advisory board, which cover the fields of technology, innovation, and healthcare. The market for assistive technology is growing at 8% annually, and in 2026 is set to reach $7 billion. And according to our financial forecast, by expanding our services to Feelif Open Platform, we are expected to have a turnover in 5 years of 35 million euros. So if you would like to join our quest and invest, here are my information. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Perfectly on time, and now perfect questions from our perfect jury.
Yeah. What's your business model? It's revenue, some revenue per access to platform, or just only revenue from the device?
Basically, yeah, for the platform, we will charge royalty fees for entering accessing the content. However, we are planning to also charge a royalty fee for the ones who want to update their device with our software and our grid. So yeah, and also of course selling Feelif devices and expanding our distribution network.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Yes, there is one.
Just give us a little bit more insight on the content that you're providing. Just a little bit more.
Okay.
What you do.
Yeah, so basically I can show it to you. This is something I created in, let's say, 30 minutes. This is the map of Poland, and this is kind of educational content that can be created, is created as well. So, for example, you just touch and it vibrates. It tells you where your finger is right now. So, for example, if you go here on Warsaw, it says capital of Poland, and for example, here it says to you which are the surrounding countries and so on. You can, for example, learn Braille. This is very important as well. So we have designated fields for this up here. But we also do entertainment and practical apps because we have 3 sorts of devices, so smartphone and 2 tablets. So yes, you can call, you can send emails and so on.
Okay, thank you. That settles it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A digitally sighted person, that's a nice goal to have. And now a nice goal to have is to have a next startup on stage, which is Flexvelop. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you to the audience.
Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Hans. I'm the founder and CEO of Flexvelop. And the purpose of Flexvelop is to help other businesses grow in the easiest, fairest, and most flexible way, because we are funding their business-critical equipment. And I'll tell you a secret, rent is trend, and leasing is a booming market. More and more companies all over Europe, all over the world, appreciate the benefits of leasing rather than buying their equipment up front. Today, even big companies, and especially the smaller ones and the new ones, also want to fund and lease and rent their small equipment, the small assets, like a coffee machine in a restaurant, or some tools for a mechanic. But the problem is that the established leasing companies don't have a focus on these small assets. They are used to fund cars, trucks, and expensive machinery, and that's why it's the perfect time for us, Flexvelop, to disrupt this market and to make leasing finally easy. The problem for the big established companies is that they are running on outdated and very complex and time-consuming processes. They need a lot of employees to manage all their clients and to go through all the applications, and that's why it's just not economical for them to also fund smaller assets that are worth, for example, less than 10,000 euros. They just can't make a margin on that. So that's also another factor that's pretty bad for them. To cover their operational expenses, they hide some tricky fees in the small print, and they are just not interested to help smaller companies. We changed that. With us, it's super easy. You can sign a contract in the store with the equipment you need in just 90 seconds, take it home and rent it as long as it's best for your business, and you're totally flexible. And of course, we love big and also small companies. So for example, the cafe operator next door who has a good business needs a bigger coffee machine. He doesn't get funding in the established leasing companies because they don't appreciate it, but we can go there and help them easily, and the vendors are also doing our marketing. We could ruin the day of the established companies by entering the big leasing market at 370 billion just in Europe. Because we don't care if the asset is just 2,000 euros or 200,000 euros, the process is the same, but it wouldn't be smart to go against the competition. So we go in a niche, a small market niche, it's still 15 billion, and we start with small ticket funding like an asset like a coffee machine. It's super easy, not only for us, but especially for the vendor and the customer, so everyone has fun, and there is no introduction needed for the vendor in the store to make his first contract and increase his sales. And we will start in Germany. We already have first customers. We will grow all over Europe, hopefully also in Poland. I think it's an issue here to get funding. And we want to build and own the ecosystem of digital leasing And thank you.
Thank you. Perfectly timed. Now I hope you managed to answer the questions. Okay. If we should have some, yes, we have. Thank you.
Is everything transacted on your platform, or do you also provide a white label solution?
Yes, we got a lot of questions from the existing established leasing companies. They would love to use our software, and we are also thinking about doing white label, yes.
Thank you very much.
That's a bonus for us.
And the next question is, yes, there is a next question. Thank you.
Marketing, how do you plan on getting to market, and what's your marketing strategy?
We acquired the big networks of vendors, equipment vendors. So we give them our tool as a tool to increase their sales, so they search all the customers for us. So we have all the sellers, and we already have 180 listed.
Yeah, regarding the incumbents in the small ticket sector that you described, is it who are those guys? Like, are those some of the big guys who also do something in small ticket, or are there other startups like yourself?
It's a lot of small companies who just need a coffee machine for the restaurant, but also big companies like big marketing agencies with 1,000 employees who also want coffee machines, but they need 50 or something for all their satellite offices. So it's really a branch of everything. But the smaller companies only can get funding with us, so we are the only solution for them.
Okay. I think that this settles it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. All right. So now it's time for the last one in this batch, and that is Sebastian from Less Industries. Please welcome Sebastian from Less Industries onto the stage. The stage is yours for the 3 minutes and then 2 minutes of the questions. So go ahead.
Hello everybody, my name is Sebastian, and today I'm going to talk about Edison. Probably you know him because the light bulb, but most people don't know that he also invented the grid for electricity, generation of electricity, distribution of electricity, and also application for using that electricity. We share this in common with Edison because we also invented the grid. Well, we didn't invent the grid for electricity, we invented the grid for Internet of Things. Data generation, data distribution, data visualization, analytics, and alarms. This is a massive opportunity because today there are 25 billion devices connected to Internet. And it's a market that is growing 50% every year. But how Internet of Things is helping people? Let me give you concrete examples about that. For example, in Chile, we're helping power distribution companies to detect when and where a cable fell off from a tower. They went from 4 hours for a couple of seconds. But in Argentina, we're helping grain producers to detect when the grain is getting rotten. We let them know immediately before that they lose the 10% that they generally lose in that grain. And they can sell it immediately, saving that money. In Australia, we're helping farmers to save water, fertilizers, and power. And it's interesting because with the same technology, the same product, we are helping the Port Authority of Dance to understand how the tides are affecting the navigation of the rivers. We have many other products. All of them share the same core technology. We just connect a sensor, and we are sending data to the cloud. We sell all our products as a hardware as a service, when we charge them a monthly fee to our customers, and we provide everything. For doing this project, we have my partners. We met them 10 years ago. We have been working together for 10 years in different products. I know them. We're highly specialized in engineering. We studied in Freiburg, in Harvard, in the University of Buenos Aires. And we also understand that for doing business, it's not important just knowing the product. You need to run a company, so we know about marketing, sales, and everything. Our company have grown 100% every year for the last 5 years. And just this quarter, we sold much more money than the complete last year, $160,000. Those are some of the organizations that trust in us. Here you have our customers, our distributors, our government organizations that trust in us. And I invite you that trust in us too in order to keep on growing. We're looking for investment, so I'm looking for your help. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, now the time for the questions. Yes, we have one question.
Where are you producing the hardware right now in terms of just making the thing?
Where we are producing our technology. We have our lab in Argentina where we are producing small batches, but when we want to produce in scale, as we are doing right now with the silo bag solution, we closed a deal for almost 1,000 units. We are doing it in China. So we prove that we can make a small pilot, validate how the technology works, and then we go to China and we can manufacture the amount of units that we need.
So you mentioned different use cases, but do you have the same hardware deployed in all these use cases, or you custom engineer certain hardware regarding to the problem that you're solving?
Could you repeat the question again?
So do you have just one type of hardware, or you have to custom design the hardware?
That's a good question. Generally, it's the same inside. The hardware has the same thing. What we do is changing a little bit the shape according to each product. Generally, we stay with a proof of concept when we validate if it works and if it's interesting for our customer. And for example, in Chile, it started as a pilot. It's a large power distribution company, controls 97% of the market. So we started with a small pilot. They tried how it worked. They were happy with that. And then they said, well, let's make a bigger order. That was 2 years ago. Then they say, let's do another order. So for the last 3 years, they've been buying. So we start with a proof of concept. We validate everything works, and then we scale it, and we start selling more.
Okay. Very quick question now.
Thank you.
And very quick answer.
Why do you have so many use cases? Why not use one thing like the harvest and the dance? And
that's a good question. Thank you so much. Give me 15 seconds for that. When we started with the grain silo bag solution for monitoring the grain bags, that was 5 years ago, and it was a massive product. It was super interesting. We haven't sold anything until 1 year ago. So if we focus on that product in Internet of Things, which is an early market, we will broken. So that's why we try to do little proof of concept.
Okay, thank you. Off you
so
go.
much.
Off you go. Shush.
Thank you.